What's going on, everybody? This is Classic Alpha dropping a car vlog. If the sound is muffled, that's because this cold weather will not let me be great outside while I'm driving to work. Nobody tells you that. Remember that God loves you, Christ loves you, and I love you as well. I'm praying that you guys have a wonderful day. I'm praying that you guys heal. I'm praying that you guys find solutions in today. You know, everybody didn't wake up on the great side of the bed, but sometimes we just have to be grateful that we woke up. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you subscribe to the Take It Home podcast where I talk about professional wrestling topics. Make sure you also subscribe to C3 Ultimate Wrestling. That is me and my wife's professional wrestling company. And even though we're lost control of it, we are definitely trying to get it back during this year. But in the meantime, February 1st, Dyer, Indiana, state line between Illinois and Indiana. 15th, the takeover at Harold's private venue. Show is 1 week away. You heard me, 1 week away. Tickets are on sale on Eventbrite. Eventbrite tickets are $5 cheaper than paying at the door. So make sure if you're in an area of the Midwest, you want to see some great wrestling before you even watch the Royal Rumble, come out to the afternoon show. 15, the takeover, sponsored by Limelight Comics. It's going to be great. I wanted to talk about something that has circulated the internet with Kurt Angle. So Kurt Angle, he did a interview with Chris Van Vliet. I don't know how to say his last name. You guys know that. But Kurt Angle, he is considered one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, one of the greatest technicians of all time. Just great all around. You can definitely tell he was a company guy, and he gave his 100% in a lot of his matches. And you guys know that in 2023, he was at Out of Control. Now that's Wrestling Out of Control 2. And I got a picture which you can see in the thumbnail and stuff like that. And he, to me, he was a very dope person. Did a Q&A and stuff like that. He shook everybody's hand. He took pictures and everybody. It was a long line, but still, shout out to Kurt and everything he continues to do. Like, I watched him since I was a child. So shout out to him. So basically, it was brought up about the name Perk Angle. Now, if you're don't know what that means, is basically people call his TNA run, they call him Perk Angle because he admitted that he took a lot of Percocets, a lot of Vicodins, a lot of drugs, a lot of consumptions and stuff to deal with dark times with his family, personal life, and everything like that. I'm not going to dip and dab into all of it, but still. But a lot of people were like, man, this man was doing crazy stuff. He was, you know, they considered it like a Super Saiyan Kurt Angle, if that makes sense. You know, the next level, the Super Mario star. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, they weren't making fun per se of what he was doing and consuming. They were talking about that it was peak, like people even call it peak Angle or whatever like that. So he's talked about it on the podcast, and he said basically, you know, he understands that it's a sense of endearment to a lot of people, but at the same time, it reminds him of a dark past. And to be honest, I've called him that before. I've shared videos of him doing something wrestling-wise. I've seen other people call him that. And like I said, it's not to bring up his addiction. It's not even to mock his past. You know, but at the same time, I can definitely see and understand why somebody does not want to be reminded of something that they have went through. You know, he says he's 12 years sober. Thank God for that. I know he's a follower of Christ as well, so shout out to him. I'm proud of him for that. So I won't call him that anymore, honestly, because, you know, it can be deemed as disrespect. Obviously, it's not my intent and some others. Now, I can't speak for everybody. You know, when it comes to addiction in wrestling, sometimes people are less forgiving than others. You know, especially when it comes to battling addiction and then also wrestling while you're still under the influence and stuff like that. There are other wrestlers who have had similar situations or worse situations and stuff like that. So even on that side is definitely understandable. But even in I won't call him it no more. I recommend not everyone else call him that. You know, like I said, he admitted he held himself accountable to a lot of the things that he did that he's not proud of. So, you know, I think it'd be very disrespectful to even go up to him and call him that. I understand the jokes because as a person who does a lot of jokes and say a lot of things to try to make people smile, sometimes people are the butt of the jokes. And sometimes I am myself. I talk about myself a lot. So we won't be calling him that anymore. We'll call him Kurt Angle. You get what I'm saying? I know he made a tweet about it. He was talking about it as well, saying basically like, you know, it was a dark time, and he definitely doesn't want to like hear something about that. You know, he's pushing forward, and like I said, he's taking a lot of booking dates for, you know, either interviews or just showing up to show some autographs. So like I said, Kurt is a great guy. The Q&A, he answered everybody's question. Like, he sat there, he answered everybody's question, he signed autographs. Like I said, he took a picture with me. I told him about C3 and everything like that. And like I said, he seems just like a great and genuine guy. So shout out to Kurt. We will call you Kurt. We will not call you by that name. Well, I won't. Can't speak for everyone else. So shout out to you and everything that you continue to do. I also wanted to talk about the Britt Baker situation. Like I said, everything's not 100%, but with past situations, you could kind of put things together. So apparently there's a falling out between Tony and Britt Baker, and that's why she hasn't been on television. I can definitely see it, but like I said, who knows? Like, when people have time, they have time. I think the biggest thing people do is when they either get released or they get somewhere else, they either send shots or they do an interview or whatever like that. But we've talked about Britt Baker before. My take on it, Britt Baker, she eventually became a star in AEW. A lot of people liked her, whether she was very bad doing the DMD. And I do think that was like her opportunity to shine as a performer. I have not been a big fan of how she does things, but her character work basically covered a lot of the stuff. I'm not saying that she lacked. It was just not something that really like caught my attention or whatever like that. You know, a lot of people was rocking with her at the beginning and stuff like that, and you know, she basically was like the lead of the AEW's women division. I don't even remember when she had that match with Big Swole. That match where it was a tooth and nail match where they fought in her dentist's office, and it was a panned match. Now, I do feel like Big Swole got more of the brunt over Britt Baker. We ride with Swole over here with her situation. I may make a video about that in the future, but still, we're going to talk about this. So, for the past few years, a lot of people have been looking at Britt Baker's wrestling, and it's been a lot of mess-ups. And it's not even just her, it's some of her opponents too. But a lot of people are like, well, this is the person that y'all said was like one of the best women's in the division, one of the best women wrestlers in wrestling history, even better than some of the stuff in WWE. And I'll give her that. She has charisma and the character and stuff like that, especially when she was a bad guy. Now she's a good guy. I don't know. She bounces in between. And then outside of some of the stuff of the bullying tactics, we hear the thing about the Thunder Rosa, about how she didn't like how Thunder Rosa was conducting business, and then how they was, you know, she wanted to fight Thunder Rosa. Now people was trying to tell me, and I don't believe this, that Thunder Rosa hid in a bathroom because she didn't want to be confronted by Britt Baker or Jamie Hayter. Now, I don't know Thunder Rosa, but you mean to tell me this lady who is very serious about everything that she stands on, and she stands on business, and also an MMA fighter, that she stood hid in a bathroom because she was trying to avoid confrontation? I don't see it. Can an MMA fighter be dropped? Of course, but I in that situation, I don't think so. There's also the situation with the veteran Mephisto, who talked about the locker room was very cliquey, and you know, a lot of people, they stuck to one side and everything like that. And some people, they came out of nowhere, was like, hey, our locker room is not like that, and they helped me with that. And I'm like, hey, that two things can be true at one time. You know, a lot of people were considering her a locker room leader. Then there's a situation where she returned, and she was supposed to go, well, she went against Mercedes Moné, but before that, she got suspended because there was a situation with MJF and his girlfriend, so she got suspended for that. So it's a lot of stuff that's going on, right? I'm not going to sit here and say it's Sammy Guevara levels of punishment and suspension, but you can kind of see if she is frustrated with everything that's going on, because she low-key wears her hearts and emotions on her sleeve. You know, I even remember when she made the statement about she heard the fans didn't want her on the show, so she didn't show up. Listen, that's not a good thing. It's not a good business practice for you and your bread. It's not, unless you got paid early. But still, even if the fans don't like you, if you can't turn that into like a promo or some gold, then that's a problem. When you go on personal stuff and you say, oh, well, I heard y'all, because low-key they was like, bye. You know, with Mercedes Moné, regardless if you like her hater, with Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, what's her name? Harley Cameron, her rise of being popular and stuff like that. A lot of stuff was like, is she missed? You know what I'm saying? There is a time, and many content creators have talked about it, to where she was actually considered a pillar, like the fifth pillar in AEW, you know, with MJF, Darby, Sammy, and Jack Perry. So now it's just like, that's dang, I don't want to say erased, but people ain't like looking out for her. They're saying that she may ride out her contract, and they're saying she may have like 2-3 years left on the contract. That's some nasty work to just be sitting down and stuff, you know. That's on the list of other wrestlers who have asked for releases and did not get it. Now, I don't know if she asked for her release or not, but there have always been speculation about her feeling like she wasn't treated right. Now, me personally, from when everybody was following her with the DMD chants and the stuff like that, that was her time to shine. And I think she did it the best way she could. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say, like, as far as like the women's quality of matches changed, but something happened. Something didn't click with everybody. And then people are like, man, you know, and I'm not even saying like to the point of ridicule. I'm not even trying to say that, but it's just like when it comes to wrestling, we do have to present ourselves a certain way. And I'm not even sitting here acting like everything goes to plan with everything I do. Sometimes the mess ups do happen. But when it comes to being consistently messing up and stuff like that, then that is a problem, because that low-key can devalue you as a professional wrestler, because people will be like, oh, dang, well, what happened? Oh, you never had it. Or I can't believe I was a fan of you. That can hurt people. It really can hurt people. Not the hurt business. We hurt people, but in the inside hurt people. You know, that Family Matters music that play when something bad happened. That kind of hurt. But still, as far as it is concerned, like I said, hopefully they do flatten things out, straighten and flatten things out, and you can see her for the rest of her contract. It doesn't technically have to be a title picture or whatever like that, but I do think some people are still fans of Britt Baker. So I do think that, you know, whatever is going through, I mean, other companies have fallen out with wrestlers and then they forgave each other. And so, I mean, look at CM Punk. CM Punk become the top star once again after leaving the company, and then people didn't think he would never come back. So with Britt, it can happen. You know, like I said, hopefully cooler heads prevail, whose ever fault it is. They wear the big person pants. But if a termination needs to happen, it just needs to happen. And then hopefully they can go their separate ways in peace if it happens. If not, figure out what they're going to do with Britt Baker. I mean, when she returned, she had the match with Mercedes. The match wasn't that good. And other stuff, they're talking about her attitude. They're talking about certain things. And like I said, that's not something that's good to hear. If she ever does leave and go to the independent, she'll get paid there. I know a lot of people talk bad about it, the independents and stuff, but you can make your own schedule and stuff. There's perks to it. I've talked about it before, as I am an independent wrestler, right? And own an independent wrestling company. But still, she won't, you know, she won't be lost without nothing, if that makes sense. Why to ask for nothing? Like, a lot of companies are booking female competitors, female wrestlers and stuff like that at the peak. You know, their prices are going up, unleaded and leaded, and the premium and diesel, for as far as booking women. So she'll have something. If WWE is interested in her, of course they'll reach out a hand and they'll do things. They'll do wonders with Britt Baker. And I hate saying it like that but it's just the truth. You know, people have to realize that WWE is just a bigger platform and a larger platform than AEW. You can like AEW and you can hate WWE, but if you're going to sit here and just act like people's eyes aren't on the product and that AEW doesn't want that, then I'd say you got to reevaluate your opinions on that certain situation. Do I want both companies to succeed? Of course. But I've said this before. I've said that just because this is the new person and the new thing in town, it does not mean that he's going to basically make the best decisions all the time. You know, I'm not even going to sit here and say I make the best decisions. And I mean, look at everything that's going on with C3. You get what I'm saying? But still, you know, a lot of people was like, oh, well, Tony won't be like Vince. And then he started doing things that Vince would do. It's just one of those things, man. It's just something to think about. But maybe cooler heads will prevail. Maybe she's practicing. Maybe she's getting better. Maybe she's finding a spark, because that could be a reason why a lot of stuff was inconsistent with her match quality. Is because sometimes when you check out, you don't care about nothing. You're just a vessel. And that happens sometimes. It's just like, I'm just here because I'm supposed to be here. And, you know, even having a couple more years on her contract is crazy. And I keep telling everybody, got to be careful with these contracts. You know, you could be the top star and the face on the brand cereal tomorrow, and then the next day you on house shows, and who is this? You get what I'm saying? So that's very important. But maybe she just needs that spark to come back and then bring back and have great matches and stuff. Because I think she's had great matches with Karu Shida. I think her and Thunder Rosa, regardless if they like each other or not, they've had great matches. You know, I'm not big on women bleeding and a whole bunch of no DQ matches and stuff, and a lot of stuff that they've done, but they've made magic together. So it's just like, I'm not going to sit here and like dismiss her contributions to AEW, because I do think that she has had some. I think she's had some fumbles. Wrestlers have fumbles. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff happens. But hopefully she can bounce back from it. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think, though. What do you guys think about Kurt Angle's comments? What do you guys think of Britt Baker? Let me know. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Chris Classic. Let's take it home.